Hey there, this is going to be a very quick tutorial showing you how to get into Zaxwerks 3D Flag version 3 and run it and get successful results. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do when you get in here is add a solid that's the same size as your comp. Okay, so click Make Comp Size and we'll type in flag solid right here. Okay. Very good. It's important to make sure that it's comp size because that way the comp camera lines up with the flag camera and everything stays in sync. Okay. Now this flag solid here, once we select that, we'll go to Effect, Zaxwerks 3D Flag. Make sure that you keep that solid as a 2D solid, not a 3D solid. That'll throw things off. And you'll notice that the color of the flag gets picked up from the solid. Now it's usually better to apply the effect to a solid instead of to a picture that you want to turn into a flag, like the color of the cloth. The reason why is because that picture is rarely going to be exactly the same size as your comp, and that's the key thing, is that it has to be the same size as the comp. Okay? The picture you choose from here. You go Set Flag Image, and then you choose the picture. Well, we don't have any pictures loaded right now, so we'll come over here and drop one into our scene, and then we can just turn off the visibility. The position on the page doesn't matter. And we'll also move it to the bottom so we don't have to think about it anymore. And then when we come back here to the solid, I'm going to lock this so it comes back. We'll now have that menu item available under Set Flag Image, and you'll notice that it's going to turn it into that. Okay. If the picture was not the same proportions as the original flag, in this case it was, but if it wasn't the same proportions, then the size and shape of the cloth is going to update to match the proportions. Okay, so that's a real quick sort of ease of use thing that goes in there. Now you'll also notice that the bottom of the flagpole ends up right here at the middle of the After Effects world. Okay, if you have a camera, sometimes that's pointed in a different direction. So if the camera's turned on like this, you see there it suddenly got a little bit closer. The nice thing though is that with the camera you can now rotate around and look at it, you know, from up high or down low. You see I've added this little I've added a little solid right here in the middle of the world just so that you could sort of see where the 0 point is. Okay, but you don't need that for sure, and it doesn't always show up, so we'll turn that guy off. And by selecting our flag solid, we can come now here and we'll pull this down a little bit. The pull position, we'll just bring this down maybe like this. Okay. Now one thing that's good to know is that you can run this thing in draft mode and it still looks pretty good. And when you're in draft mode you get a couple of extra things. One is that you get this squiggly line which shows you the wind direction. So you can come down here and change the wind direction or elevation. Elevation is up down, wind direction is, you know, like a circle around it. And you also get this little pivot point right here. That's the pivot point for the flag rotation, which is the pivot point is right here, the rotation is right there. So if you do decide to like rotate these guys, you'll see that they rotate around that pivot point. So by changing the pivot point, you can rotate the flag around anything that you like. Okay, so that's nice. Now these first 4 menu items are what you're going to use to snap the flag into position very quickly. Okay, the first thing, like we talked about, was the image. The second is the size of the flag. These are just presets to sort of get you going real quickly. You can enter the options window over here and set any size that you want, but these just sort of jump you into the position of everything very, very quickly, like we said. Okay, I'm going to choose a small one for now so that I can show you how the flag poles work. All right, single pole short. The short pole is going to be twice the size of the flag itself. Okay, so whether it's a single pole or a double pole like this, you'll see that the flag pole itself is twice the size of the cloth. Okay, next one. A medium is 3 times the size. A long is 4 times the size, etc., right? So you get to where it's extra long, and it's going to be like a super tall flag pole in proportion to the cloth itself. Okay, so that's just how those guys work. Let's go back to medium maybe. And other options we have here are hanging banners. Now when I choose this, it's going to jump down here because, you know, that's where the center of the cloth is. And we've got a single banner or a double banner like that. And we also have options for curtains, frames. Frames are where you've got a pole around all four sides, and etc. like that. Okay, so let's just go back to medium for a second and look at the other stuff. Flag pole style, you can have a round pole, a square pole, or an image. The image lets you load in any picture and use that as a flag pole. This is how we did flags in version 1 and 2. We actually used an image for the flag pole, not a complete 3D object. And that was very usable for some things, but not as successful with others. But we've given you the option to do it here in case you have to go back and match some of the old legacy projects. Or you want to use something wacky, like you want to take an After Effects layer, just a complete whole layer, and use it as a flagpole for the cloth, whatever the shape. Doesn't matter what the shape. It could be like, you know, the mouth of a dinosaur, and you stick, you know, you stick a flag into the mouth of a dinosaur if you want to do that. Right, so here's some other fun stuff. Top and bottom end caps. These will change what the look of the thing is. That's sort of like a standard look for a flag pole. That one and this one right here. You know, if you go out and you take a look at a flagpole, they usually pretty much look like this. This is fun. What this one does is it gives you spots to put pictures. So it comes with a US map defined on it, but you can come in here and change any picture you like. You do that by clicking on this button, and once you go in here, you can then come in and zoom in and apply different pictures. You can apply a different picture to the front or to the back. Now these little material docks down here, see, they'll show you what pictures are on the object. So right now the front and the back both have the Zaxwerks map on them, right? But say I wanted a different map on the back, I can bring this Euro flag over and just drop it right there, and you see it loads it in, and now I've got a different picture on the front than I do on the back. Very, very cool look, especially if you're revealing things, because you can roll it up and it looks like one flag and then drop it to reveal a different picture on the inside. These little guys over here, they can be all changed. See, like this material, I can drag and drop it there and get a and you'll see that it's different. Now these don't appear down here. Anything that's in the custom end caps don't appear down here, but once they're set up in a program like Pro Animator or Invigorator Pro, anything with a Pro in it will export models. These models can then be used as end caps, and they'll appear in the list, and they're all pretty cool. Okay, so we're working with materials there. This is the material editor. Any of these guys can be loaded down here and then updated and changed. Of course, you can build all your own materials, and it comes with the whole selection of stuff. You can do bump maps, make your cloth textural if you want. You can even make it shiny. Check this out. I love this, right? Woo! Shino flag. Lots of fun. So let's see, or turn it into wood. That's not wood. Here we go. There we go. Make it a wooden flag. A wooden flag with chrome. There we go. Now it's a chrome flag. Okay. There's just too much silliness going on. Okay, so anyway, that's a good idea of the materials you can get into and the material swatches and how to set these guys up. This has full ray tracing in it too, so you can do all sorts of great ray trace effects as well. Okay, so there we go. Top caps, bottom caps. Let's set this to fleur de lis. There we go. And then the bottom cap style, let's choose one of these things. Some of these you see are set up for banners. Others are set up for stands, and others are set up for wall attachments where it's rotated at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, but say we go down here and pick a speaker stand. There we go. Now we've got a complete full 3D speaker stand holding up our flags for those gusty rock and roll moments. Okay, the rest of the stuff you can sort of like poke through. Oh yeah, the last thing we're going to do is set the flag dynamics. Now this lets you very quickly change the look of the flag based upon how the dynamics control it. Okay, so if you set up for a gigantic flag, then when you play this thing back, I'll go into here, you'll see it plays back much slower. All right, it's weighted heavier and reacts to the wind in a different way. If you select that you want it to act like a tiny little flag, you'll see that it curls a lot more. You see it reacts to wind a lot more. So it's a much lighter fabric. It curls, it's more droopy, and it whips very quickly in the wind. Okay, so those are some very quick overviews. Layer maps allow you to load things into the materials. Pre-roll is setting how long it takes before the flag actually starts to move. Looping is controlled right here. We'll get into that in a different tutorial, but that's a super powerful feature. Slow-mo's right here. Flatten, also super powerful. Cameras, lights, and of course your documentation. Just click this button to go to the online docs. So there you go. That's a real quick example of how 3D Flag version 3 is going to work and how you can get into it to do some really fancy, cool stuff of your own. All right, there you go.